Hello everyone. Thank you, Chung. It's good to meet you all, even though it's on a virtual session. Nevertheless, it is still good to meet all of you. I welcome all the new educators and learning centers on board. We hope that your journey with Eduseeds and using our programs will be a really good one, for we have the students and all the educators' interest in our heart of hearts, right? So for those who have been with us, for those who have been with us from the start of the journey, and for those who have joined us somewhere along the way, we welcome you. Thank you for making this time to meet with us and to equip yourself in all our programs. So without any further ado, before I start, do kindly mute your mics, so we will not have any technical glitches or any kind of interference, so that we can carry on with this session quite effectively. So can everyone hear me? If you can, just type in the chat box, right? Let's just give everyone some time. So while waiting for the OKs, I hope you had a good 10 minutes break, stretching your legs, hands, necks, because sitting down can be quite challenging for some of us. All right. Okay. All right. Do feel free to raise your hand at any point of time. Mr. Chong, our moderator for this session, will assist you in any way. Okay, right. So my name is Martha. I head the academics team at Eduseeds. Today I want to share with you our school key dynamic features, right? So let's carry on. First, on the slide of my presentation is our Curriculum Core Competencies. And I'm sure in the morning, in the first session, our founder, Pastor Kevin Gunn, has shared with you some of the approach that we have employed in our curriculum. So I would like you to look at the 6 main areas where our curriculum competencies are focused on. The first being it is self-directed and it is personalized. We have a goal setting system in our Eduseed systems. We have a learning management system. We also focus on digital literacy programs. We have programs that enhances the critical thinking and problem solving skills. And last but not least, we have the social emotional learning programs, which we will get to somewhere towards the end, right? Our main curriculum objectives are, I could say that we focus on 3 main areas. Of course, the academic preparation for the IGCSE Cambridge O-level examinations is one of them. We want to efficiently prepare our students for that. And the second being the, we want to, instilling academic excellence and combining them with good good skills and soft skills. And the third area is to ensure that we equip our learners with the 21st century skills. Now, we have heard a lot of factors, areas. We have probably looked at, watched YouTube videos and a lot of learning approaches that talks about 21st century skills. So in my presentation and my sharing, I would share with you what are the core 21st century skills. Before we go into that, here are our learning outcomes and results. Yeah. And of course, we have the customized learning parts. What are the customized learning parts? It basically talks about personalizing the program or the subjects for the students. It is customized, and that's where our goal setting system kicks in to ensure that the students have a set goal to meet all of their objectives, right? And doing that, it also develops independent learners. They take ownership. They are accountable for their own learning. And of course, in the beginning when they start, it might be difficult, but this learning outcomes and results, we focus on them the moment they start our grade 1. Yeah. And of course, the other area is to increase the students' academic performances. We have module checks and all the different review checks, right? We also have programs that stimulates the problem-solving skills. We have a lot of programs in line for our students. And one of the key things that we have incorporated into our sciences is the inquiry-based learning. We will come to that shortly. And the last area is to ensure that their social emotional skills are also enhanced, because this is also one of the key areas that we enforce in our programs. As I mentioned before, the 21st century skills that we want to focus on today, there are a lot of other skills, but I want to focus on these 4 areas. The first being collaboration, right? To collaborate essentially means to work together to reach a certain goal. Okay, that means to put certain talents, expertise and smarts to work. Okay, so we get the students to collaborate, to exchange ideas and so forth. The next, of course, is communications. I call these the 4 C's, right? So communication is where students share their thoughts, their ideas, raise questions or solutions that they have to a certain problem. The next C we want to look at is we want to infuse creativity into all their learnings, whether or not it is working on a science project or trying to do a coding program, right? Or it could be simply doing an art subject, trying to draw something, right? But we want to essentially help the students to tap into their creativity, so they are allowed to try new approaches to get things done, right, with a lot of excitement and so forth. Okay, one of the other key area that we focus on is the critical thinking, which is looking at problems or a question in a new way and try to link what they have learned within the subject or across subjects and to bring a solution to it. So these are all the 21st century skills that we focus on in our curriculum. Right. Next, I want to share with you some of our key curriculum features. Right. This approach is called the STREAM approach. Couple of years back, it was just STEM, STEM. And then a couple of years later, it became STEAM, right? They decided, okay, engineering is also a key approach. And now the latest one we have, this educational approach, is called STREAM. And STREAM stands for, as you can see the acronyms and what it means, it's science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and math. Now you may have questions like, how on earth do they study engineering in high school, right? We do have programs for that. So let's look at an overall picture of what Eduseeds does to incorporate the STREAM approach, educational approach, into our academics. Yeah. Okay, so we have under science, we have pure sciences, which we introduce from grade 6 onwards, right? The pure sciences are the biology, chemistry, and physics. Grades 1 to 5, they essentially study general science. As for T, on the technology, we offer coding programs, which starts from year 1 all the way up to grade 8. As for R, we have reading skills. We have literacy programs for English and Mandarin. For engineering, we have 3D design and printing programs. I will get into the details in a while. And for A, we have arts programs and performing arts. And of course, M is for mathematics and maths. Let's quickly look at how our science subjects are incorporated to tie in with the 21st century skills, right? We have biology, chemistry, physics, and we also have science camps. We have STEM trails, right, where we infuse the inquiry-based learning, right, so that the 21st century skills such as collaborative working, communicative working, and also how to encourage students to think critically. This is how we bring in the essential 21st century skills into our science subjects. As for coding and programming, we have different programs for different years. Scratch is a program we use for our very young learners, grade 7 to 8 years old, grade 1 and 2. We have Code Combat for the 9 to 11 years old. And then for 12 years and above, we have the development programs, web development, 3D design, and Arduino. And how it enhances with the 21st century skills, it makes them think logically in sequence. It helps them with the reasoning process, and they also collaborate ideas with each other, right? They have to communicate also. And again, it all comes down to critical thinking. Right? Now, for reading skills and proficiency, we have our English Eduseeds program from grades 1 to 8. We also have a literacy program called Achieve 3000, or we call it A3000. That focuses, the speciality in A3000 is really makes the students think about a question before actually answering. And of course, the main idea of Achieve 3000 is it differentiates the learning. They have contents to differentiate according to the student's ability and the learning ability. We have a program called IEW. This program focuses on creative writing. Right? It helps them with the essay writing and summary writing, and this program essentially starts from grade 4, where we teach them descriptive writing to make their writings and essay more interesting, to describe them well. And of course, we have the Mandarin and Bahasa language to enhance their language skills in Mandarin and Bahasa. And again, the 21st century skills that we want to focus on with this program is to be creative, to be communicative, and also to think critically, because summary writing needs a lot of thought process. Yeah. As for E, it is about engineering, and we have the programs called Arduino, 3D design, printing, and web design. And again, it is about logical thinking, being collaborative, creative, and critical thinking. It helps them with these processes. As for arts, okay, we have like a crossover in the web designing programs, because it does require students to be artistic, if I may say, to be creative in how they want to bring the logical sequence. It's actually very interesting how the creative process works together with the critical thinking part. And we also have art subjects for the lower grades. We have clubs, public speaking, and of course sports. We look at it as a form of art. Of course, it's a very physical thing, but the 21st century skills in these areas, again, they work together, they collaborate, they create, and of course they communicate. Yeah. And the last one is mathematics. We have the general maths from grade 1 onwards all the way to IG, and when they enter into IG, they have an additional maths subject for additional maths. And we have STEM trails also, which we put it under mathematics, because it combines both the sciences and the mathematics. And again, they need to work together in the team to communicate, to think, and so forth. So this is about, this is how we bring the stream educational approach into our Eduseeds program. Yeah, right. Very quickly, I just want to show you our modules at a glance. You don't have to worry about the details, because we will give you details, more details on the modules when you do the ordering and so forth. At a glance, for grades 1 to 8, we have the following core subjects: English, Maths, Science, pure science, chemistry, physics, and biology. We also have Bahasa Malaysia. I've not included it here, but it is one of our core subjects. Social studies and value education. So the number of modules are shown on the right column, right hand side. And most of the core subjects have 10 modules. The pure sciences have 9. We are still working on the physics pure science. Currently it is still 10. It will be revised to 9 modules because we have the inquiry based learning element inside it, so we have to make the lessons more interesting. Right? For social studies and value education, there are only 4 and 3 modules respectively, because the frequency of these lessons for these subjects are not as frequent as the core subjects. Right? And at IGCSE level, we have these subjects. Bahasa and English at this point, it is on a live stream mode, but the other subjects shown are all on module basis. Currently, we are also working on economics module. We will let you know when it is ready for ordering. Yeah, so that is just a quick glance at our modules. Right. Let's look at what inquiry-based learning is. You know, like the name suggests, inquiry is a form of curiosity. We want students to inquire what they are learning and what they are going to be doing in that particular subject or the lesson. So inquiry-based learning, if you look it up, it is a form of active learning. Yeah, it is a form of active learning. It gets the students to be more involved in their learning, and this is how they are able to take ownership of their learning. They become more responsible, and it's got a lot of benefits because it starts with questions, scenarios, problems. Sometimes we have puzzles. Yeah, so it makes them think. And we want to, like I said, to emphasize the students' roles in the learning process. And it can be done in so many ways. You can have it in a presentation mode, role plays, you can make a dramatization out of it, and so forth. What are the benefits of inquiry-based learning? Because the students' curiosity is triggered, so they become more engaged, right? If you throw a question to them, for example, in a plant, ask them questions like, which part of the whole plant, which is the most important part? You know, you make them think. And then when they come up with the answers, it'll be very interesting to find out, because they do come up with the most exciting and wonderful ideas. So it engages them, and like I said, it triggers the curiosity of the learning. Of course, when they start talking and they start asking, right? It creates a lot of buzz, you know, so some form of excitement in the classroom, and it encourages the students to explore the material, explore what they are learning, understanding what the objective of the learning is. And that's where the communicative part of their skills comes in, because they become team players. They learn to ask. Yeah. And I've included this word, combats the dono syndrome, because I'm sure as educators you have come across this, like you have come across students, right? When you ask them a question, they do this. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah, so we want to work against that. We want to combat that, and this is one way to minimize this syndrome, right? And of course, in the process of learning, they actually become they discover that they have certain skills. They can become content experts. They can become they can lead a project, right? So these are all the additional skills that they might come across. So in a nutshell, this is what inquiry learning based learning is. And if it's any comfort, it does take some responsibility of the teachers. You know, when you give them group work, you just have to facilitate and monitor. Yeah. So next, we want to look at how do Eduseeds, how do we incorporate this IBL into our subjects. I'm going to show you some examples of how we do it. Here is Pure Biology grade 6, and this is the second module, right? And we have one lesson called Discuss and Find Out. So basically, this is our inquiry-based learning element. So a question looks something like this. This topic is on Malayan tiger in Peninsular Malaysia, and the students are supposed to find out why they are endangered and so forth. So we want to encourage students find out what are the reasons, what is being done, and how we can help to stop this or minimize this, right? So this is one of our IBL elements in biology. And we have chemistry. This is grade 8. It's about atoms and elements. And we have one lesson called Conduct and Observe, right? And this is our IBL element in chemistry. And we give them a scenario. This is about chlorine in water, right? This is a sample lesson in the activity book after they have done the e-book, right? E-content, sorry. And they have a scenario. What they have to do is, there is a procedure they have to carry out. And then they have an application question, right? About a swimming pool and a person. And we have a question on it. So they will put that into whatever they have learned, the concepts or the theories. They will make the connections. They will do the inquiry-based learning in this form. So these are some examples of the IBL element. So in a teacher's guide, the sample answer will look something like this, right? Of course, this is to guide the students, but the basic points will be there, right? So maybe there is too much of chlorine and what they have to do and so forth. So that's an example of the IBL in our pure sciences. Next, under the value education, I'm showing you a sample of grade 1. Value education has got modules from grade 1 to 8. And there is this part in grade 1 called What Can I Do? Basically, this is the application part. So we have something simple, an activity here. It's about being helpful at home. So the students basically just checks what he or she does or does not do, and how teachers can actually work on this with them. You can give them as a pair work or a group work, have them to be engaged. Yeah, this is in our value education. Another sample of value education is in grade 5. It's about being showing gratitude. So they have an activity here that they have to do, and again they focus on how they will apply what they have learned in the IBL element. Yeah, so these are some of the examples. These are very real questions. These are everyday questions, and as you can see, one of the question is that it's about punctuality. So they make a table and they can evaluate themselves, right? And here is a teacher's guide sample. Another question is about emergency bag, how to prepare one, and I've given a sample teacher's guide, right? Okay, for grades 7 and 8 value education, we have a place for them to reflect what they have learned after every section. They actually can reflect what they have learned and they can write them out. So we encourage them to write, and ultimately it's going to help them in their writing skills, right? What they have observed. So they are given a scenario and they work based on that, right? And here is a sample teacher's guide sample, right? What they are going to do, and the answers are there. Of course, if they come up with something, so the sample answer is given there as an idea, so teachers can follow this as a guide, and of course it will be on a case-to-case basis. Yeah, right. So so those are some of the samples that I've just shared with you on our inquiry-based learning. Right now, let us look at some of the learning skills. I've just put some ideas to see how we can make the learning more engaging. Yeah, and we shall look at a sample lesson in English 207. It's a lesson on adjective. Just sharing some samples or examples so that as educators, this can be a guide, and I'm sure you have more fantastic ideas based on your experiences. Yeah, so let's say that the topic for the day is adjective, and this lesson on adjective can be found in English grade 2 and 3. You can assign them as a pair work or group work, and for me, I like to use this to see how they can actually come up with adjectives to show facial expressions. Yeah, and you can encourage them to use the word adjective. You can come up with any other terms. You can use a word like toy, T-O-Y, or book, or a person's name. Yeah, I've simply used the word adjective, the letters for adjectives, and you can actually get them to act this out, right? Joyful, excited, and so forth. So this engages the students, and it makes them it makes them happy, especially for the lower levels. When you ask them to come up with things or make them do things, I think it creates a buzz in the classroom. Yeah, so these are some of the ways that you can carry out a lesson on adjective. More examples here on adjectives. Yeah. The other thing is that you can help create more fun, yeah, to have the students sing. If any of you educators are good with music, musical instruments, you play them. Guitar would be the easiest, and you can create some noise in the classroom. You can make short songs, silly songs, fun songs to create, that kind of excitement. For example, if the story is about a fable, okay, we have fables in grade 3s and also in 2, and if there's a sheep and a wolf involved, you can start the class off just to break the ice and get them in the mood to learn, Baba Black Sheep. Of course, this is good for those who are in the lower levels, not the higher levels, yeah. And you can help them, you can encourage them to do movements to the song, yeah. The other thing that you can do is that you can connect vocabularies to activities, and I use sports. For boys, you can use basketball. For girls, you can use netball. You can use anything. So you can use whatever vocabulary that are relevant to, say, basketball in this sense. So you have basket, you have bounce, you have catch, and everything else, yeah, dribble, pass. So you can actually create, you can lengthen or create that vocabulary list with them. You can have a weekly thing with them, like, okay, what is the vocabulary that we have learned in basketball? So make it real, connect it to their real everyday thing that the students do. Yeah, so it is going to make them remember better, and application will be easier when they make that connection. Yeah. And of course, for those, English is always a challenge because we are not native speakers. For some of us, it's second language. For some, it's a third language. There are also some that it could be a foreign language. So you can do so many things. And one of the things that I encourage, or I think it is really fun, is to have an English zone in the school. You can have colored walls at a certain place. I mean, if you can do that, that will be good. Yeah, so colors, use bright colors where when they enter a certain zone, they only speak English. So yeah, you can do that. And the other essential thing is reading. Always emphasize on reading, and that's why we have the literacy program, Achieve 3000. Achieve 3000 is a literacy program. It's a differentiated instruction. It contains differentiated instruction in it. So encourage them to read. For those who are early learners, teachers, you can read to them for about just 10 minutes a day, every 2 days. You can have your own frequencies. You allocate to any senior students who have showed improvement. You see, that actually creates that excitement for the students, to be in charge for a while. And of course, they can take turns. And alternatively, you can have a reading corner, right? Encourage them, if they have finished their lessons quicker than normal or than the rest, have a reading corner where they can actually go into and read for a few minutes. And yeah, there's a nice picture there. If you can do something like that, I think it creates that environment, that the whole environment can change. Yeah. So these are just some of the things that I have to share with you today. And right now I'm open for Q&A. So let's get that going.
Yeah, if you have any questions, please write in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask in the Zoom session. Yeah. Anyone have any question? No? If no, then we... Yeah, do you have anyone have any questions? Any further questions? No? Yes?
Can hear me, Mr. Chung? Can hear?
Yeah, please proceed.
Yes, I don't know whether this is the right place to ask the question, because I'm concerned about other art subjects like history or geography, I mean, to give a wider option for students who have maybe a more keen interest in this kind of things, who are not so academic in terms of science, pure science, or business, because it's quite limiting if they don't have at least an arts subject to take.
Okay. So, yeah. So we have. May I know who is this from?
Melody from Lighthouse Academy.
Okay. Hi, Melody. Okay. Thank you for the question. I think it's a good question. Okay. Remember the educational approach that I shared about on stream? Yeah. So this is one of the important key educational approach, and that's why in our syllabus it looks as though that we focus more on the science subjects. It's simply to prepare our students so that they're not left behind in any way when they enter the 21st century job markets and so forth. Having said that, for IGCSE we do have the arts-based subjects. That is, we have accounting, we have studies, we have the two languages, and currently we are working on economics, right? So at this point we do not have geography or history, right? In time to come we may want to venture into that, but ultimately we want to give them a good option of both the sciences and the arts, right? For IGCSE though, we do encourage students to take at least one of the science subjects, and most of the students do go for biology. Chemistry and physics might be a little tough, so we do encourage them to do biology at least. So right now this is what we have.
I would be grateful if Eduseeds can expedite and start working on at least geography, one subject, because these are, I think these are international subjects, that gives students a world view of things, even world history or world geography is quite important as well.
We will definitely look into it. We don't want to not do these things. Of course, it is in the pipeline. We will definitely advise you once we have something like that. I hope that will be okay. For now,
That would be great. Yes.
thank you for your question. Yeah, and we do have another question on the chat box. I can see that.
Yes, we have a question from Sheila Krishnan. Yeah, the question is, in maths, do we have 10 or 12 modules? Yeah.
Okay, good question, Miss Sheila. Thank you for the question. Okay, for the Star Maths, if you have ordered the previous one, okay, that will be from grade 7 and onwards. That would be 10 modules, right? But I need to highlight that the Star Maths will eventually not be available because we have streamlined our maths curriculum and the modules to 10, right? The first version of our maths would have had would contain 12 modules. So if you are taking that, you have ordered the older version, it is still okay, but it soon will be phased out. For now, grade 6, 7, and 8, mathematics grade 6, 7, and 8 have all been made to 10 modules. So please ensure that you have the right versions. Yeah. And for grades, some of the lower levels, some still do have 12, but we are working on streamlining them to 10. So eventually it will all be consistent. So do get in touch with us to get the details before you make the order. Yeah.
Thank you for the question. Thank you for the answer, Ms. Martha. Yeah, do we have any more questions?
Welcome.
Yeah, you can either unmute and ask the question directly, or you can write into the chat. Okay, later we will have when we finish everything, yeah, we will have a question and answer. Yeah, but currently now, yeah, we.
Okay, can I say something? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one question from Faiti. Yeah, what about the subjects like business and econs for IGCSE?
Okay, for IGCSE, we have business studies and accounting. We are currently working on developing the economics modules. So that is in the pipeline, not to worry. We will let you know as soon as we have the modules ready, and we will be in touch. Definitely, we will make it known. Yeah, thank you for that question.
Yeah, another question is from Sheila. How subjects for IGCSE students are encouraged to take?
Good question, Sheila. For IG, we at the HQ here, we encourage them to take at least 6 subjects. Okay, the reason being, you need minimum 5 credits for college or any pre-U programs. But we here make it mandatory to take 6 subjects at least, so that students can always fall back on an extra subject. We don't want to shortchange them and just give them right to just the exact number of subjects, because we want to make sure that they have all the opportunity they can get to enter a pre-U course or a pre-university or foundation courses. Yeah, so we advise you to go for the same. Yeah, encourage them to take at least 6 subjects. It will be quite easy. We just here we tell them take 2 languages, 2 mathematics, and 2 sciences. In fact, most of our students end up taking 7 or 8 subjects here. Yeah, right. Welcome.
Do we have any questions from the floor?
I am concerned about the special needs children, because if we go for all the pure subjects, I think it would be a little bit tough, right? It's like 2 languages, okay. 2 maths is, I think most people do have problems with maths. So I think if 1 maths will do. 2 sciences also a bit difficult. If they just go for biology, maybe okay. Then your suggestion would be to go for business studies and
Accounting.
accounting. Would I really don't know. So that's why some other options might be better. If it is not in Eduseed, do we encourage them to take on their own outside, or I'm just trying to see whether there are options or not, you see.
Okay, okay. So for this, right, I will hand this over to Madam Gunn, right? So she will be able to assist you and help you more from on this question. Yeah.
Okay, hi. Good afternoon. Concerning about the special need children, so important thing that you discuss with the parent. Bring the child and discuss with the parent. I do have one children with a special need. He do bahasa, he do math and English. Also one subject biology. So when a child prepare for this 4, in minimum she have credit in the subject, and the child pathway will be go into art stream, not science stream. So also depend on the child what he want to do in the future. The most important thing is bring the child along with the parent and discuss in detail. I do have special need children do not take IGCSE at all. At all, don't take. After grade 9, the child cannot take IGCSE. And the child already age of 18 years old, we prepare them go for a vocational track. They mean like they're doing more like Berjaya group are doing culinary. So depends on the child ability and also discuss closely with the parent.
You're talking about Berjaya, you mean?
Yeah, they're doing a culinary Berjaya group.
Oh,
Yeah. There's a boy called Brian Tan. He did not complete his year 10 after grade 9. The parent come and see us, then I call up Berjaya. As long as a child age 16 and above, he can go from certificate course onward. Not diploma, not foundation, take from certificate course, then from there he move on. Okay?
but this Berjaya is in KL, is it?
Yes, in KL. You also have automobile. Automobile, they make that part also doing hands-on automobile repairing cars. Also from 16 years old and above, you can go there for entrepreneurship.
So automobile is also in Berjaya, is it?
No, it's in KL also. That's part, another company.
Or what? Vespa.
That's part, yeah. We can give to you the detail. Who's on the line? From which,
Melody from Lighthouse Academy.
where? Oh, Penang.
Penang, yes.
Okay. Actually, you can look around in Penang. Any vocational school can tie up with you all, and you can work from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll check it out in Penang.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Melody? Thank you. Yeah. Okay, we have another question. Yeah, it's talking about adult students from Faiti. She asks are there any adult students, particularly for language as a foreign language? Is the syllabus suitable for adults?
So far in our experience here, we have not had any adult students with us. But if you ask whether the syllabus is suitable or not, especially for the foreign language, only Bahasa is taken as foreign language at this point of time. Maybe Mandarin and English is either taken as a first language or a second language. Whether or not it is suitable, the syllabus are suitable, they do have the Cambridge books, and I'm sure it's pretty suitable because for IGCSE you have age criteria for adults also. So yeah, so you can look into our A3000 programs. We have an adult level in the Achieve 3000 literacy program. Yeah. So what we can recommend is that for all these details that you still need more information on all these things, please direct them to Mr. Chung, and one of us from Eduseeds will come back to you, right? If we don't get any immediate, yeah.
Yeah, yes. We have another question from Adeline. She just joined the session. Yeah, we will have recordings available to you after the training. Yeah, a little bit later. Yeah, because it gives us time to process the videos and everything. Yeah, don't worry. Of course, everything that started from this morning is already recorded. We just need to take it into action, and then we put it in our LMS. Yeah, we will inform you when we'll have the videos. Yeah. This is a question from Adeline Joseph. Yeah, do we have any more questions from the floor? Yeah, you can unmute yourself and then you can ask the question directly, yeah? Please don't be shy. Yeah, if you don't have any question, to run through tomorrow's training on the day 2, 11 August. Yeah, we will have the first session is on the school key dynamic. It will be by Pastor Kevin, and also managing the goal. And the third one is monitoring the video. Monitoring the module. Yeah, these will be the subjects for all the training for tomorrow. Yeah, we will send you the itinerary and also the login, the password and the login username. Yeah, to today. Yeah. If any question, yeah, please do ask us. Yeah, I have another question from Hannah. Yeah, for Bahasa and Mandarin, do you make it compulsory for grade 1 to 8?
Madam Gan will take the question.
Yeah, for Madam.
Okay, for OIS here, for Bahasa, we compulsory from grade 1 to grade 10. For Mandarin, is grade 1 to grade 5, this is primary level. If the student want to continue to take Mandarin as a subject in IGCSE, they will take tuition after 3:30. Yeah?
Yeah, does it answer?
The 3:30 we hire another teacher to come and teach them as a tutoring lesson once a week.
Okay.
Yeah, the question is say, how do we do these subjects without books?
Which one? You mean Bahasa? In Mandarin we have book.
Yeah.
We have book. Those who are in standard form 1, they use book from outside. Outside material. Then grade 9 and grade 10, they take past year question for Bahasa and Mandarin.
Okay.